What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. And today, we got to talk about Crip Mac and his mother sitting down with Adam on No Jumper. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. This was hard to watch. Not because Crip Mac was doing anything we hadn't seen him do before. It was hard because his mama was sitting right there beside him. She was watching the same thing we were watching. But she was not watching a viral character. She was watching her son. That is what changed the whole interview for me. A lot of people look at Crip Mac and see the catchphrases, the face tattoos, the gang talk, and the internet chaos. His mama looks at him and sees the little boy she tried to raise to stay away from all that. That is a different kind of pain. Because according to this interview, he was not a child that grew up with no support and no chance. He had a mother who was present. He had mental health support. He had a different environment than what people assume when they see him now. So when you watch him today, it don't feel like a man who was always destined to be like this. It looks like a man who got lost inside a role that the internet learned how to sell.
Mama Bear has a path to ride motorcycles to. She's done with life. My path is to gangbang till I get a death penalty.
And that's something that we understand. It's dangerous both ways.
Oh, no, I mean it.
No, he's reshuffling his thoughts. Trust me, I know that silence.
Well, okay, how does that feel though to hear your son say something like,
because
path in life is to gangbang until I get a life sentence? What does that say?
Because I know that's not what I know is going to come to pass. That's not the behavior he's demonstrating now. That may be something that he puts out the universe, but it's not what he's going to do to conclusion. Is this
Continue to ride your motorcycle.
So no, I definitely
take care of Granny Bear. I'm serious.
I definitely am understanding.
When the job can't get done, Mass SK Destruction's gonna get it done.
He's come along.
The saddest part is the contrast. The public image says one thing, the family history says something else. And when those two things sit next to each other, you start seeing how much of this looks manufactured. I'm not saying his life is fake. I'm saying the persona looks like it became bigger than the person. That's what makes Crip Mac different than just another street figure. There is something underneath the performance that don't feel stable. You can hear it in how he talks, you can see it in how he responds, and you can feel it in the way his mother looks at him. She is not just embarrassed, she is exhausted. That's the look of a mother who has been trying to hold on to her son while the world chills for the version of him that's pulling him away. And that is where the media part gets ugly. Because the internet knows something is off with Crip Mac. People laugh anyway. People clip it up anyway. They treat his decline like content because content don't have to care about what happens when the camera turns off. But his mama has to care. She has to live with the phone calls. She has to live with the fear. She has to live with the real person when everybody else is done watching the character. That's why, to me, this interview felt less like entertainment and more like something we probably shouldn't be looking at so casually.
Okay, so when did the behavioral issues start to kick in? With
the schizophrenia.
Oh, right
or just anything getting in trouble at school, even before the diagnosis.
To military school.
Oh,
that's what I knew.
Talking doctors.
Yeah, military school.
Well, military school must have been when he was what, like 16 or something?
No. He was 8. It was 7 and 8.
Oh, wow.
And he lasted about a year. And they got to the point. I mean, they were doing great stuff. Yeah. Scholastics, they were doing PT, they were doing drills, but he just wasn't latching on. He had other things that he was preoccupied with doing. And we didn't know that his mental illness, of course, had, taken over that. And
at 8,
there was
what was he preoccupied doing?
What was he preoccupied doing?
Hearing voices.
Just destruction.
Just fighting and stuff?
Just all of it. Fighting anyone and anything that stands in his way of, getting what he needs.
Okay.
So, but always a good person. No, you weren't bad.
We had
you weren't terrible.
We had the military school, and we lasted. We went to, me and her, we flew to Texas when I was 14 years old.
Right.
And Samoans.
Wait. So then you come back from Texas, and that's when his gangbanging career really gets going.
No. That was way before.
Teenager.
Yeah.
Okay, but he was before that, but then he was no longer a gang member when you went to Texas, right? And then he becomes a gang member
when he gets to California.
Yeah. That's when he becomes 55th Street,
and
right?
He had all the issues with all the different sets and all that stuff. He worked it out. He took his DP like a man and called me in the middle of it saying, "Mama, you want some money?" in the back seat of a car. And I'm crying saying, "Baby, are you okay?" But I know he did it because he knew he had to.
Not a DP, but a put off.
No, it wasn't a put off. It was a DP.
Well, this is where his viral story starts feeling even more darker. A lot of people first looked in on Crip Mac after he got beat up on camera. That is a terrible way for a person to become famous. But that's what it is on the internet now. Somebody's humiliation becomes the doorway to a brand. Once people started laughing, watching, reposting, the character got bigger. And when a character starts feeding people, people around that character don't always want the person to get better. They want the character to stay profitable. That's the part that bothers me. If a man is struggling mentally and the thing that makes him popular is the same thing that makes him unstable, then who is really helping him? Not everybody around Crip Mac is rooting for him to heal. Some people are rooting for the clips to keep coming. And that is exploitation, even when everybody pretends it's just content. His mama sitting there looking like that makes it impossible to ignore because she is not trying to sell a character. She is trying to reach her son. And the heartbreak is that he does not fully seem to understand the pain that he's causing her. Not because he's evil, because something in him looks disconnected to the weight that she's carrying. That's why I felt for his mama more than anything. There are so many mothers out there like that. Mothers who raised a little boy, then had to watch the street, the internet, or the wrong people turn him into a man they can barely reach. And the part people don't say out loud is that a lot of those mothers are afraid of their sons and afraid for everybody around their son at the same time. That is a heavy thing to carry. You love him, you remember him, but you also know what he can become when he ain't well. That is not something a mother should have to hold by herself.
For real.
What else do you want to let the people know about what this has all been like for you?
Oh my gosh, nerve-wracking. I just didn't know what to expect as far as, I don't know, I guess everything. When I have this child, I thought it was just going to go the traditional route. And for him to be such a big...
Hold on,
okay, she's mid-sentence right
It's
here.
all right. Mama Bear, we have Coach Warren. Shout out Coach Warren.
Okay, but she was mid-sentence. As a
Coach
respectful son, shouldn't you let her finish her thought before you interrupt and start
My
talking about
mind
some
spins.
random
All right.
Adam, can you cut that? I can't.
Okay.
Please.
Let's go.
Promise me.
Mama
edit
Bear,
that.
let's go. Go ahead.
Give me a second.
All right, she's trying to think.
I think you upset her by interrupting her.
Well, my mind spins so fast, I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
I understand it's challenging, and this is the real face of mental health and people who, really need help. And I'm never going to give up on my son. That's the bottom line. And as hard as it is for me to get the words out right now, I need him to know that I love him and I support him. And we're going to get through this together. If anybody else is struggling, don't give up. Just hold on one more day.
Hold on. And gangbang to the day you die. Torture enemies till death. And stand on this.
And that's all I
55th
have.
Street, the best street. Program Time 5, Coach Warren, Falcon Face, my big homeboy. Instagram at Program Time 5. Get your clothes on. That's what I forgot. Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Yeah, they don't want to forget. Mm.
It's nothing like a mother's love.
Yeah, everything's going to see all right.
Amazing. Crip Mac.
This is where the whole interview stopped being about Crip Mac, the internet personality. It became about a mother sitting next to a version of her son that she never wanted him to become. That is a specific kind of grief. He is still here, but a part of her is already mourning him. She is mourning the peace he doesn't have. She is mourning the life that he could have had. She is mourning at the fact that strangers get to laugh at what keeps her up at night. That's why a part of me wishes she didn't do that interview. Not because she did anything wrong, but because a mother's pain should not have to sit on display next to an internet brand. And that is really what Crip Mac has become. A viral brand built around a man who does not look fully protected by the people making money off him. That is the uncomfortable part. The gang image makes him look hard. The tattoos make him look committed. The catchphrases make him look entertaining. But his mother's face tells a different story. Her face says, this ain't no game. Her face says, this is not just a character. Her face says, there was a son here before the world turned him into content. That's why I hope this interview makes people feel different about laughing. I'm not saying Crip Mac has no responsibility. He's a grown-ass man. His choices have consequences. But when mental illness, street culture, and internet fame all wrap around the same person, the situation is not that simple. That don't excuse him. It explains why this looks so tragic. Because the same system that made him famous is also keeping him trapped. And that's why his mother's presence matters so much. She reminded everybody that before the memes, before the interviews, before the face tattoos, before the gang talk, there was a child somebody loved. A child somebody tried to help. A child somebody still sees inside all that noise. That is what broke my heart watching it. not the character. The mother trying to find her son under that character. So I'm gonna take y'all out like this. Crip Mac is not just a funny internet figure. He is not just a street personality. He is a troubled man who has been turned into content by people who know how to sell chaos. And his mother is one of the few people in that room who seems to be looking at him like a human being instead of an internet clip. Shout out to every mother who has to love their son through fear, through confusion, and through heartbreak. Shout out to the mothers who hearts drop when the phone rings. Shout out to the mothers who tried to steal their sons away from a life that still found them. Because watching Crip Mac's mother sit there was a reminder that some people are laughing at what other people are surviving. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.